Hi everyone, I'm Cherie Heiberg. I am here to tell you how you killed your orchid. So this is what most people think of when they think of orchids. This is what you usually find at the grocery store. I'm gonna have to break it to you, it's not actually blue. None of them are blue. This is done by dye. But yeah, this is a Phalaenopsis, which is commonly known as a moth orchid. You'll find it in pretty much every grocery store in case you need an emergency gift for someone you don't know very well. Maybe at some point someone has given one to you, and you may have killed it. In fact, I will put money on that. So the word orchid actually covers a wide variety of different types of plants. It's really diverse. In general, enthusiasts identify what orchid they're talking about by talking about the genus, and that's why I am using the word Phalaenopsis going forward to talk about the specific plant we are covering. Plants in the same genus often have the similar care needs, even if they look extremely different from one another. These are all Phalaenopsis. So very different from what you see in the grocery store. And here's how they grow in nature. Most orchids are epiphytes, which means they grow on the surface of another plant, usually trees, like little parasites. And they get their nutrients from rain, air, or debris that accumulate around them. So, free fertilizer from nature. This is what a healthy orchid looks like. Generally, you're going to want everything to be firm and green. Sometimes you'll get a little bit of silver and brown on the roots, but that's fine. Usually the brown is from hard water stains, especially here in Los Angeles, because we have incredibly hard water. As long as you keep that all in mind, then you can understand moving forward how you killed your orchid, you monster. Watering from above. This is the #1 reason I have found. Once again, if you think about how it grows in nature, it grows sideways and upside down, so water just falls right off it, or it blows away in the wind. Evaporation is wonderful. And if water gathers in the crown or in the little folds and things like that, it causes a big bacteria party, and it eats the plant alive and it dies. So don't water it from above, first lesson. Second lesson, don't water it too much. If you have tropical plants at home, like a peace lily, you're probably used to keeping it fairly damp, or just watering it lots of times a week. This seems a little counterintuitive because orchids are tropical plants and they do like being wet, but they don't like being so wet that they'll drown, which is pretty much what happens when you pour water over it, can't breathe, etc. Underwatering, also a huge culprit. Usually I find this is caused by people who get the Just Add Ice orchids, and they water it with 1 ice cube per week. That is not enough water for an orchid to survive. It will die. But luckily, there is a way you can solve this problem. Pretty much in every orchid that you buy at the grocery store, there's a secret little pot. I've marked it for your pleasure. You pull it out of the decorative pot that it's in, take it to the sink, run some water over it without getting any water all over the plant. And then you're pretty much good to go. Just let it dry, put it back in the secret pot, and you'll probably keep it alive for a long time. Unless you repot it in soil. This goes back to, again, just remember how the orchids grow in nature. They grow on trees, their roots are already always exposed to the world. This is pretty much overwatering on fast forward. Instead, use bark or sphagnum moss. There are lots of guides online that'll give you a good overview of how to repot an orchid and the setup, like Miss Orchid Girl. This has worked very well for me. Sunburn, also a big culprit. Burns leaves to a crisp, inhibits photosynthesis, and it's very aesthetically displeasing. If you want to keep them healthy and happy, just put it in an eastward-facing window. If you don't have that, then you're going to want to put a sheer curtain between the orchid and the window, and it'll prevent sunburn. Finally, starvation. This takes a while, but it is extremely fixable. If you get little slow-release fertilizer granules and just drop them in there, then it'll basically feed itself. Orchids are actually pretty you've seen all the different ways they can die, but they're actually pretty easy to grow once you get the hang of it, I promise. I started with this one. It's a zygopetalum. I got it at Trader Joe's. It was marketed under the name Exotic Orchid. And now I have about 50, which you can see right here. So what I did was I just picked an orchid, kept it alive for a year, and then allowed myself to go fucking nuts. If you want to grow an orchid, there's lots of easy ones to start with. Phalaenopsis, as I mentioned already, Zygopetalum, vanilla, which is an orchid, and you can grow it at home if you can grow a Hoya. Very easy. Cattleyas and Oncidiums. My last tip, now that I am out of time, is do not buy orchid seeds online. They are a scam. Buy an adult plant from a nursery or the grocery store. Okay, bye.